Mr. Michael Clark, you have some reflections of the game because you weren't massively pleased with the way Raph played.
No, and it's exactly what you're saying. It's just he, for me, was that kid that just kept losing his concentration. And I said to him over and over and over, to the point where I'm embarrassed by how much I was shouting the same instruction over again. He just wasn't getting it. I should have said something differently. I should have pulled him away at half time or when he was off on as a sub and just properly explained it to him. But hindsight's a great thing. And at the time, I was basically just saying, stay centrally. You have to keep staying centrally. He was a left-sided centre-back, but he just kept going out to the wing like a left winger. And it was just leaving us so exposed in the middle. And I reckon I must have shouted, stay central 30 odd times. It was nuts. So I was getting really annoyed with that. And afterwards, when we trudged off the pitch towards the car, again, I embarrassed myself, I think. I was just really angry that, not about the result. The result was the result. I was actually pleased with the team. But when I was chatting with Raph, I just said to him, well, I don't know what you were doing. Like, why did you keep not listening and just keep going into these wrong positions? And the first thing he said was, I thought you were saying like I needed to be in central mid. Or he was just like, I was just getting really confused about everything you were saying. And I thought, at the time, as I was walking off, I was like, that's bollocks. Because if you thought I was saying central mid, why are you going out on the left? And then when things calmed down and I got home, obviously it's on me. He was confused. And you could tell when you watch it back, he's like, that meme I put with Mr. Bean going in, out, in, out, in, out. That's what he was doing. He was just getting confused. And then he was getting frustrated because I kept shouting at him and singling him out like you do as a parent coach. You just single out your child. So it was a bad one for me, I'd say. But what was the best thing about it and the learning we had was when we got the VO through, I did the tactics board. I was that guy. But I felt like I had to because I just wanted him to not be confused. And I just explained to him, every time you drift out or you stop marking their defender, but mainly when you drift out of that central position into the wing, when there is a winger there, so Logan was there every time, but when you go into his spot, look at all of that gap, and then you're basically leaving another defender to have to come across. It just leaves so much space. And I think he was starting to really understand that. Certainly understood what I meant by staying central. And then we basically said, what word do you need for me to say that makes sense to you? Or how would you want me to explain this to you? Stay in the fucking middle.
For fuck's sake!
Yeah. But I was just like, I get why he's confused. I really do understand it.
But do you know, I was trying to say to him in the game, because I shouted at him quite a bit, but not in a more shouting instruction. Also think of it as this. So this happens a lot when the ball comes down his side, right? So Freddie goes over to press the kid on the ball.
Yeah.
The winger comes short to receive it. Now Freddie is caught between. Then Logan is now, oh, that kid's got the ball. I'm going to go to it. To the defender who receives it. So let's say the right centre back receives it, because then that's on Raf's left side. Right centre back receives the ball. Freddie presses him. Logan now goes to the defender who's got the ball. And that leaves the kid behind, the right winger.
Yeah.
And now Raph sees that. And Raf's like, that kid's standing on his own.
Exactly.
So now he's pulled out. So actually now Raph has to be disciplined and say, I'm not going to do that. But where it actually starts is Raph shout to Logan, do not go to the ball.
Yeah.
And Logan knowing that stay goal side, don't get sucked in. How often do we say that?
Don't get sucked in. Yeah.
So what happens is once he gets sucked in, now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because now Raf's out, and then that leaves that big space in behind him. So that it's about the boys understanding that anything in football isn't necessarily about the action you take physically, but actually if you talk and communicate, the best teams like like when a weaker team plays a stronger team and they get defensive shape is about communication.
Yep.
Do not get pulled out. It's about discipline and it's about communication. And I think they're the things that we need to work on.
And that's so hard for a 9-year-old. They're all mates. Yeah. They talk to each other all the time. But to shout instructions at each other, it's hard to do that. But
also for them to know.
Yeah.
Like they've now got us, like for them, you're asking them to identify what's happening and then to notice it.
And to act on it and to think about it quick. But it also just raised a bigger point for me was, I don't know how much of the frustration I had with him in the game was down to the game and how much was just down to his general behaviour at home in the build up to this game. It was just been since half term, it's just been a disaster at home. His behaviour has been so up and down. And we've said this before around coming in. So I was obviously doing what you do, and you Google these things, and you're like, how do I stop him from, beating up his sister, or how do I stop him from being a general asshole at home? And I didn't really appreciate that their brain development, almost the biggest stage of brain development apart from when they're a baby, is around this period in this age. So they're going through all these changes because all of their testosterone and all of the emotions and everything that's happening in their body is properly coming through now. So they're almost in a state of flux, all 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. And then you chuck them into this highly pressurized environment like a football match, and you're barking instructions at them. They literally don't know what to do most of the time. No wonder they get confused and frustrated and angry and all of the emotions. And that just spills out from home onto the pitch. So I think that's just something to bear in mind, that they are going through some stuff that you won't even know about behind the scenes internally in their bodies, that we need to be the ones to be more aware of that so that we can act more appropriately.
You mentioned to me that you kind of felt like it was a couple of steps back for you. And what did you think you did wrong, and what did you want to do better next time?
It was, we say it all the time, like coach, not criticize. There was too much criticism, and then it was coaching at the right times and not throughout the game. And it was just, I was finding it frustrating because we were just doing the right things offensively and then just getting caught out too many times at the back. And it was like simple mistakes over and over and over again. So the constant criticism and coaching, in inverted commas, of Raph. And also the other thing, and it's a one thing that I've been thinking about and been conscious of, especially in the last few weeks, is basically having tunnel vision on him. And we know this is natural, right? Every coach who's coaching their team with the sun in it, you do tend to look at your child more than everyone else's. But I feel like I've been pure tunnel vision. Everything else is positive. Well done, guys. The cliche sayings, but with him, it's like proper tactical instructions or criticism or, just attention. So I do need to be wary of that. I think I was better today because I've been super conscious of it, he's just one of the 8 players or 7 players on the pitch, and to not treat him any differently, which again is a challenge. In terms of other things to work on, really, is just being more clear on the language. That's clearly a point. I feel like I can say things to him because he's my son, and I would assume he understands what I'm talking about, but he clearly didn't. And it's quite hard for them to, again, admit, what on earth are you on about? Because they think everyone knows what you're talking about because you're saying the same to others, but they might not know either.
I don't think they want to talk about it either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like they're at that stage where they want to learn when you're off the pitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're at training, they're like, cool, we're in the learning. And then he's like, mate, I don't want to talk about this game. Like, it's done. Like, this is boring. I want to go and do.
Yeah.
And also, it's quite hard for a child to learn without the visual prompts and being on the pitch. It's probably they just don't want to know, or they don't care.
Yeah. And they don't really want to know from their dad, sorry.
Absolutely.
They don't want to learn from them. They want to learn from someone else.